Bum, 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 bum. Hey everybody, I'm Ramon Mejia.
I'm Edgardo Costa.
And today is May 27, 2016, and this is episode 65 of the Geek Bytes podcast. And every podcast, folks, we bring you the roundup of the week's best geek and tech news, and then we discuss that news, and of course, anything else that we are interested in that week.
In Geek News this week, we'll talk about India's Shuttle launch, the Pizza Hut robots, rumors of new Xbox Ones, plural, and MacBooks, the Captain America controversy, trailers of the week, and much, much more.
And in our discussion section, we're going to be talking about a bit about our interview with Wolfin, the author of End Online and Chronicles of Eternal series. Now let's begin our show, though, with Geek News.
All right, we begin with India launches reusable shuttle. The Verge reports that this week India's space agency has successfully launched a reusable mini shuttle model into space, marking an important development in its low-cost space program. An unmanned prototype of the reusable launch vehicle, RLV-TD, launched Monday morning, reaching an altitude of 43 miles before returning to Earth. The project has been in development for more than 10 years and reported budget of just $14 million, compared to its U.S. space shuttle, which costs about $450 million per launch. Good old NASA. Wonder why they're not around. Creating a reusable low-cost space shuttle is a huge step in any space program. India is competing with space agencies in Europe, Japan, and Russia, as well as private companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin.
This is a really big step for India. They're entering the space race with a lot of other developed countries, and I'm kind of excited. It's very classic India, as Marco Bravio puts it.
Yeah. Usually you hear about Russia. Russia is usually the ones that does it for the cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that time that Lance Bass himself was going to be a cosmonaut?
Yep.
And of course, what's the leader of or the owner of Virgin?
Oh, Virgin Galactic, that really, really rich guy. I'm sure the audience can tell us. And for the folks who don't know, we're actually also broadcasting this episode of Geek Bytes Podcast live on Facebook Live. So we're also taking comments there. So if you hear us refer to people, those are the people we're referring to.
Yeah. But yeah, that guy, he's pretty much just had the money to burn on it. And it's like, okay, space. Don't get me wrong. The exploration is great. I'm still waiting for the moment that we cultivate Mars.
Yes, that will be a nice stepping stone on further galactic projects. All those things are going to be things that, people like Tony Stark will do.
Totally.
But things that happen in our future. But one of the very first steps you have to do is make space travel cheap enough that regular, ordinary people can afford to emigrate to places like Mars or colonies or, asteroid bases where it makes sense financially to do those projects instead of just, using really expensive things that only countries can do.
Which is going to be great, but like I said, once again, once the colonization of Mars happens, or whenever it happens, I don't know if it'll be during our lifetime, it's just going to bring a whole new thing, like who gets to own the planet? Like whoever plants their flag first, what's it called? Didn't the Russians get to the moon first before the Americans did?
No.
So technically,
I mean, I guess it depends on the history book you read and the conspiracy theories that you kind of follow, folks. But as far as regular history is concerned, we got there first. They sent up the very first space probe. Sputnik, one of the very first, satellites to orbit the Earth. They sent up the first animals, dogs, monkeys. So they had a very big thing. But we were the first people to get to step foot on Earth, on the moon, rather.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about something else. Space is fun and all.
Space is fun and all. But we have our next story is going to be the new MacBook rumors that are happening. 9to5 Mac reports that is corroborated a research note from KGI Securities analyst Ming-Ching Chow. That's what it says. That a new 13 and 15 inch MacBook Pro coming out in the fourth quarter of this year from Apple. The report says that the new MacBook Pro will be thinner and lighter, include Touch ID, an OLED touch bar above the keyboard for functioning keys. There will also be a metal injection model, hinges, USB-C, and Thunderbolt ports, and a 13-inch version of the new 12-inch MacBook Pro is also to be expected. So if you're an Apple fan, and it seems like there are quite a few people that are in the chat, they like the news of a new MacBook.
Settle down, you guys. Settle down. Computers have been advancing. Yes, it's either been a combination. It's either going to be a tablet. It's either going to be a laptop. Are the combinations that both connect together.
Yeah, these are just like with Apple, though, recently it's only been new versions of their old properties. And for the very first time, Apple iPhone sales have dropped. They haven't been increasing, and that caused some of their stock to drop recently, which made it a good bargain, I guess, purchase.
Yeah.
But this isn't really exciting to me. Just new iterations of the same products. It's it's not my thing.
One thing I just understand that, especially with Apple, they the I want to say the trend / fad that came out that nobody kind of like continued on was like the Google Eye, the Google Glass.
The glasses?
Yeah,
that's an entirely different company, but that's a thing that's going to be in the next 5 years as virtual reality progresses.
Yes.
Augmented reality is going to be the thing that comes after it, or even complements it as far as technologies go. But that the Google's still trying to develop the PR for something like glasses that video record. People are kind of uncomfortable with the concept. They think it's a little douchey. So that's something that Google can work on. But from Apple's point of view, they haven't come out with anything as innovative as that product, which is kind of sad.
Kind of douchey related news on it. Where do you think you usually see the first time you see like a nice latest laptop? Like in the real world? I say usually Starbucks. Somebody those typing up something like, "Look at me, I'm working on blah blah blah, my screenwriting abilities." Especially
and just that excitement you had when you first saw the new iPhone, like the touchscreen. It's pretty. Strangers would come up to you and like, "Can I touch your thing?" And you'd be like, "Oh yeah, no, but you can touch my phone." No. That hasn't happened. That hasn't happened for me in a really long time. So
I don't get blown away too much on it unless it becomes the a projector kind of thing and does the the semi Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope kind of projection kind of thing. Until that happens, good for them.
I hear you. Yep.
All right. Some more tech related. Let's see. Pebble 2 announced. Pebble, not Peggle. Not the other EA games. Pebble 2 announced not one, but 3 products this week. The Pebble 2, the Pebble Time 2, and the Pebble Core. A software update is included with new products added to an actions list for faster access to certain app features. The Pebble 2 and the Pebble Time 2 are both smartwatches that focus on health and fitness with built-in heart rate monitors. The Pebble 2 is similar to the original Pebble with slightly beefed up hardware, a 7-day battery life, and a thinner look. The Pebble Time 2 has a Color E paper display, boosts a 10-day battery life, and boosts a screen that is 50% bigger than the original. The Core is a small device that clips onto your clothing and is geared towards runners. It has a built-in GPS so you can track your distance and pace, as well as step tracking. The Core also acts as the music player with 4 GB storage up to 1,000 songs. A retail Pebble Core will cost $99. The Pebble 2 is $129, and the Time 2 is $199. All devices are available for a discount on Kickstart, with a watches shipping in September, the clip-on Core shipping in January.
Yeah, so there's some fun new products. Of all the smartwatches that I've ever seen, I think I like the Pebble the most. It lasts the longest. It has the approximate functionality, something like the iWatch, but it's cheaper. I mean, that for me, that's about. I'm gonna jump into a new experimental project, like a smartwatch. I want it to be as inexpensive as possible, so that my entry level is not too bad.
Yeah. They've been great to me. A lot of these like watches, especially for the health nuts, they're just fancy, a little more pricier pedometers. But they're evolving. My always thing is like, yes, we've seen the future concept of like when the first Apple Watch came out. It's been a long time ago when the phone was on your wrist.
Tracy days,
like the old Casio calculator that was on there. I'm just waiting for it just to be like a final merger. You just your whole thing. That way you don't have to have your phone in your pocket or
Yeah,
your
we talked about
flip.
this. I think last week there's some other technology new where they were making smartwatches a little bit more useful. Like they
Oh
were
yeah,
extending out projections on other parts of your arm
yeah.
so that you could interface with the watch a little more. You get a little more functionality. And until that happens, though, a smartwatch isn't really for me. It's an expensive, timepiece, which I don't. You don't. A lot of people don't even use watches anymore because their phones do the job and they do a lot of other things. But if you are a Pitbull fan, I'm happy for this product announcement for you. But in other news, we have Pepper the Robot working at Pizza Hut. If you've never heard of Pepper the Robot, it is a robot that's been created by SoftBank. It has been employed in the past at hotels. Now, though, Pizza Hut Asia is partnering with MasterCard on a trial that will use Pepper in their restaurants. By the end of 2016, Pepper will be able to interact with customers, take orders, and even take payment information from customers. Now, if customers pair their Master Pass account with the system, they can do everything from paying from their meal to asking about all the calorie counts of all those Pizza Hut meals. I don't know if that's a big deal in Pizza Hut. You'd assume it's a high number.
It's there.
Yeah, but it looks like Pepper may be putting some Pizza Hut employees out of work very soon.
No $15 an hour for you.
Nope.
But it sucks, but also awesome. Hopefully, this robot doesn't end up the route as the Canadian traveling robot.
No, Hitchbot
Hitchbot
did not have a very nice time in the United States.
Ugh.
But this is in Asia. Maybe they're going to be more respectful of the robots. We're currently playing on the recording version of the podcast the promotional video they have, and I gotta say this robot looks pretty adorable. It has those big anime eyes. It has hands that do special things. It has a monitor or like a tablet on its chest where you can actually enter information, and it seems to interact and speak with customers in a very orderly, understandable manner. And what I find weird about the video is that this lady orders a beef hamburger from Pizza Hut. I guess that's the thing they serve in Asia, but
Hey, what's it called? Taco Bell, especially with their merger with Pizza Hut, you get your pizza at Taco Bell, you get your burgers. I had friends that would get burgers at taco places. I'm like, dude, why? No. Like, you don't go to the sushi restaurant to ask for like a pizza or what.
yeah, you go with their specialty, the thing they're good for, not the thing that nobody ever talks about.
But that's at least a test. Hey, they're willing to make something to make the customers happy.
Yep.
I'm just waiting for the combination, like of you place your order, but they are the mechanical arms. It looks like something out of like the Jetsons or whatever, or almost like an old school cartoony where it's like mechanical arms and the white gloves, where it actually will prepare a meal for you.
Yeah. Those kind of, those seem more useful. This is just one example of how robots and artificial intelligence are getting the types of jobs that they're going to be taking from regular humans, things like customer service that can be done for free, basically, or cheaply rather, by a robot instead of a 16-year-old kid. Manufacturing jobs are done a lot by robotics already. Like you're talking about, even chef job, anything that's repetitive that doesn't require analytical work necessarily may be replaced by robots in the future. But it's nice to see that Michelle Armstrong agrees you should not order hamburgers at a Pizza Hut. You should order their specialty food at least.
Well, at least for machines preparing your food, yes, because you're always going to have that, unless it's the same basic ingredients every day, like a Joe job going in and out. Yes, a robot can prepare a meal for you. But if you were just to want something random, but it, unless it does a freshness test or so.
Yeah.
It's going to throw meat
onto
a grill, even if it's rancid and old. It's just throwing meat on a grill.
No, you're absolutely right that there are every single robotic system needs human support.
Exactly.
Especially with these new projects. Robots can do a lot of things, but there are a lot of things they can't do. But employing one dude to stock a fridge or to stock a kitchen instead, and having robots do everything, instead of, 5 guys in the kitchen cooking food and doing customer service, it's a lot cheaper for the company to do the robotic way.
No offense, but keep my old ladies in the kitchen, and I'm talking like mom.
Yeah.
Mom knows how to cook food.
Absolutely.
So, I wish there was more moms in the kitchen, not in a bad way in restaurants.
That's right.
Don't you find it kind of weird
Supports your mom economy.
Well, exactly. But don't you find it kind of weird, though, like especially chefs, that it still has to be a guy? You have to respect the guy being the chef that runs it. No offense, I would prefer mom's cooking over a culinary chef, Maybe it's just
It
me.
depends on the chef, I got to say. But in other news,
Yeah. Xbox spin-off rumors.
Mm-hmm.
Rumors of the Ars Tech.
Ars Technica, yep.
Yeah, there you go. Report that Microsoft will announce two Xbox spin-offs soon. One will be the $100 streaming stick that can stream games from the Xbox console. Another would be a lunchbox size device that could stream, but also how do you pronounce it?
Natively.
Natively, there you go. Play lightweight Windows Store games. The Sams and Kotaku both have sources on an Xbox upgrade for the next year that would support the Oculus Rift and the GPU that could do 4K and run up to 6 times faster than the current Xbox One.
Yeah, this is kind of exciting. If you believe the rumors, I don't know that everybody does believe all these rumors, but these are some very interesting announcements. This would kind of pair off with some other speculation that the PS4 is coming out with a slightly enhanced version of their product to, in my opinion, kind of take advantage of the VR thing. They are coming out with the PlayStation VR, so they're going to need slightly better hardware to run that product efficiently and well. And so Xbox One, who is lagging behind the console walls, they're very far behind for their product being purchased, is kind of trying to up their game. It would make sense if they did it.
Well, for gaming systems, let's see. Anzim was saying, do you guys think Sony should have waited a little longer for the release
Yes,
of the PS4?
Hans Lima is making that comment.
Yeah,
Hans Lima, sorry.
Luma.
Luma. Well, you know how to say it. I don't. I've never
I
met the
went
person.
to high school with him.
There you go. And so his question is again, do you guys think Sony should have waited a little longer to release their new PS4 Neo?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. What's coming up next? E3.
Yeah.
E3 is a big thing, it's a big gaming kind of thing. They're going to have to drop as much as they can because right now there's games. The current consoles, we're doing pretty badly on sales, both for the Xbox and the PS4. PS4 is doing better. But to me, a console itself is great. It's fine. But if there's no good games out there, it's kind of like a big...
So do you think they should have waited to release the PS4 Neo?
I feel like there's that kind of no really rush. I know they just... we announced it back then that, Xbox 360 is dead. They're at least not making it anymore. It's still operational. You can still play your games. So you can do that. PS3, obviously, same thing. They're not going to really make anymore, at least to the best of my knowledge. But I love that they're doing the backwards compatibility on there. I wish they could do that with their whole games because that means there's just more and more library, more variety of games to play. Upgrades, yes, I would totally love it, especially with the Sony's version of the Oculus Rift upgrade on it to play more like 3D realistic games. With the other Xbox upgrades too. To me, the ones that are being described right here is just like another equivalent to a Roku Fire Stick or whatnot plugin.
Okay, so for the Xbox streaming sticks, I hear you there. From my point of view, the PS4 has a huge lead on Xbox, so I understand why Xbox is coming out with something newer, so with better processing, up to 6 times faster. They're also trying to jump into the VR game, so I understand that from my view. I think that Sony could have waited longer for the Neo, testing the waters, see how the Xbox One new version did before they came up with their enhanced version. But because this is kind of like a half step, it's like the PS4.5. I don't see any harm. It seems like a special edition of the PS4. So I don't think it's going to do them any harm. It's not going to do them very much good because they're already ahead in sales. I think they're going to come out with the PS5 as soon as, the Xbox, 1 or 2 is the new version. So to me, they could have waited, but there's no harm in them doing it now.
It's almost like a funky business move too, because it's like, okay, two companies.
Yep.
Who's going to tread that line? Who's going to go first? Because obviously when the one person goes first, whatever company, the other company's like, all right, let's see what you got. And see, then as soon as they see their flaws or whatever, like, aha, we're going to come out with something better.
Yeah, that's
then they start kind of fighting.
It's the first mover advantage versus the second comer advantage. First mover advantage is we're the first to market. We get all those initial sales from excited people. That's our benefit. Second mover advantage is we can see how well they're doing and how much we have to do to beat them and not have to do a lot more. So I see what you're saying. I don't think that necessarily applies here, but we're going to have to wait and see. But moving on to some other news and some entertainment stuff, E3 is coming out soon. The Electronic Entertainment Expo is a summer event that we love. Polygon is reporting that at E3 2016, they are going to be hosting a free 3-day gaming event open to the general public called E3 Live 2016. The event will take place from June 14th to the 16th at 800 West Olympic Boulevard in Los Angeles, California. Now, not at the Los Angeles Convention Center, where the official E3 2016 will be held. The event will have games, live music, dance competitions to be held. They will have a bunch of stuff, exclusive demos, merchandising, interactive stuff, demos, and the tickets are, again, free on a first-come, first-served basis. You can register at e3livela.com. We have the link on our show notes, of course. Is this something you would be interested in going to?
Totally. I love, and I keep saying it, I say it to death, I miss Attack of the Show, I miss G4. They had great coverage for E3 on it. They literally were like each section, as any kind of development was there, and they covered the whole conference. If it was from Nintendo, Sony, or Microsoft or Xbox. And they might even talk about your question right there, Hans, about the crossover games. They might even have it displayed on there, because there's one that they're supposed to be doing. I forgot the name of it, though. Forgot the name of the game, but they wanted to do that, and I think that'd be great.
No, there are, to address the question from the audience, it's Hans is saying, are they still planning to do crossover servers, PS4 being able to play Xbox One games? There are always rumors about that. I doubt that either company is going to be the one to make the first move, but there are video games who actually let both people play. It's just, the consoles themselves want to keep their networks. This is one of those things that PC gamers are a little bit always weirded out about, because they don't care who they play with.
Yeah.
So other than that, though, we have no idea. But going back up a little bit, another comment from the audience was from our friend Jerry. He agrees with you. It's all about the games. The hardware is almost a secondary issue. It could be as amazing as possible, but unless we get good games to come with it, it doesn't matter.
Like
so,
we talked about Ramon owns the PS4. I own the Xbox One. If it wasn't for the game exclusives, yes, I honestly would have, if not also, would have been playing a PS4. With me, it was like, a majority of my friends have an Xbox One, so I'm going to get an Xbox One too. So with some of the games that are out there, like the big killer for me, not owning a PS4, is missing out on Street Fighter 5.
Yep.
Kingdom Hearts, that's going to be coming out.
Hopefully we'll see some of it at E3.
Exactly. Oh, man, it's going to be so great. And, of course, some exclusive titles like Mr. Kratos, Mr. God of War. There you go. That was always like a great game too.
You obviously are missing Final Fantasy 15, which is finally coming out this year in September. That is probably one of the biggest exclusives for the PlayStation Network system. And that to me by itself is the main reason I got a PlayStation versus an Xbox One.
There's going to be more announcements coming out. Obviously, more games. Developers things coming. If you guys have the Xbox Live, networks, you check out. You get a little hints of what's coming out, especially with the Call of Duties and all that. But for right now, until the E3 conference comes out, all we do is wait. Other than catching the rumors online.
And maybe we can all get a group together and go to the E3 special free event together, guys. We can talk about that later.
That's right.
It's free.
Get a party bus.
Yeah, party
with
bus.
The stripper pole and everything.
Party E3 bus, and
it's optional.
I can totally work the stripper pole for our Patreon subscribers.
All right, let's go to the next story. CBS to drop fan fill lawsuit. J.J. Abrams have confirmed that Star Trek Into Darkness director Justin Lin was outraged that Paramount and CBS were suing the makers of a fan film.
Axanar, we'll say.
Yeah. Okay. Lin pushed to the studio, and according to Abrams, the lawsuit will be stopped within the next few weeks. CBS and Paramount told BuzzFeed reporter Adam Very that the studios were in settlement talks. Axanar's executive producer Alec Peters said new fan film guidelines will be handled down in the next few days.
Yeah, this was kind of a weird story to me. It felt like a flip for CBS and the Star Trek executives, basically, because for a very long time they were like, yeah, make whatever fan films you want as long as you're not making money off of it. We're totally cool with it. Until this one came around. In part, it was because the producers of the fan film Axanar went to Kickstarter to get their funding for it, because it was going to be a very big production with a lot of special effects. So they needed funding from the community. Now the people who are making this, if I remember, saying we're not personally making money off. All this money is going to production stuff. The people who are involved are going to get paid, but that's just a paycheck to get this thing done. We're not licensing it out. It's still going to be a free fan thing. And we're totally acknowledging that, the intellectual property belongs to CBS. And you would think that would be enough, but according to CBS, because they're making money off of it, they slapped him with a lawsuit and they tried to get him to stop. But thankfully there are other big name fans. Yeah. J.J. Abrams, and also the director of the new Star Trek movie out. They're like, we are these guys. We were fans. Yeah. We made these films in our college days as things that we love and as a way to practice our craft. And so because they were on the side of the creators, CBS is kind of backing out, and instead they're just making guidelines for future fan films.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb. It's kind of like in the rules of parody. As long as you don't use the exact same names or whatever, instead of like Luke Skywalker, Jim Skywalker.
Yeah.
Something like that. Or...
There are weird rules around copyright infringement and intellectual property stuff. But I like the fact that this is finally going away and these guys can get back to making their movie.
Yeah, because I honestly love the fan films. You guys ever watch the things on YouTube?
Yep.
I personally like the Bat and the Sun, the manga ones where they do the versus battles, or where they have like Batman versus Deadpool.
Yeah. Imagine if all those intellectual property holders said, "No, you can't do this." I mean, that would be crazy.
Oh no, that's so much restriction. It's like, to me, it's like a freedom of art thing. Obviously, like I can draw Mickey Mouse. Mm-hmm. Whatever I do with that Mickey Mouse, be raunchy porn or some great animatic, cinematic, whatever. It's my own interpretation of it because it's my art. Unless I'm trying to sell it and make some money, it's a different story.
Yeah, it goes from parody to profiteering. That's that weird line that sometimes shifts around depending on the time.
Because another real quick semi-related is, and I'm gonna go to the raunchy part. You ever heard of those those parodies, those like porno parodies?
Porn parodies, yeah. You've seen they have the recent one was Teenage Mutant 10-inch Mutant Ninja Turtles.
There's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
porn parody. Yeah. It was very interesting to see the promos for it on the internet.
Oh yeah.
It was just kind of weird.
It's actually a thing.
It's a thing, but again, it's the difference between a parody and infringing on international intellectual property rights. Moving on to some other entertainment news, though, Angry Birds has officially the best movie in America for this week, anyways. This weekend we have a bunch of new films coming out, but is the top box office movie this week in the United States. Channel reports that they topped the charts domestically at $38.1 million this last weekend.
Okay, I know I'm working nights and I slept through the day.
Yeah.
So this actually happened?
This movie came out this last weekend. Again, that's only domestically. There were a bunch of other bigger names internationally. Like Xbox, the X-Men movie came out last week internationally, and it'll come out this week for us in the United States this weekend. Mm-hmm. So this is probably going to change. I'm just super surprised that a movie based upon an Android or an iPhone game, an app game, where you slingshot birds at pigs and their structures, made $38 million. But apparently, according to some of the reviews, it's a decent movie.
Well, there's rumors of a Tetris movie coming out, so we'll see how that is. But yeah, that caught me by surprise. Like, obviously, if you've seen the trailer, we have it posted on the website. Yeah, it was cute. It was cute. It was like watching any of the. I think it's done by DreamWorks too, like a DreamWorks animated short, whatnot. And then that's what I thought. I'm like, it'd be a short and everything. And I gotta admit, I cracked out a couple jokes, especially with the eagle.
I was very skeptical of this movie. To be honest, I felt like it's gonna get the video game curse, and apparently it didn't. Maybe it's because people went in with low expectations that it's not gonna be super horrible. Jerry Wilson in the chat room is saying he saw it today. I'm not sure if he saw it by himself or with small children. We're not judging you, buddy. He says it's not bad. So,
real quick with Thundercats, no idea.
Yeah. Hans is asking, is there really going to be a Thundercats movie in 2018?
It's been passed around.
Yeah.
Speaking of fan film, there's a great fan film where they got Brad Pitt as Lionel. They took footage from Gladiator and stuff like that. And they took the Spy Kids and they just kind of like CG kind of the makeup on them to look like, so they made the Spy Kids look like Wile E. Kit and Wile E. Coyote, which I thought was pretty cool.
Again, the fan stuff can be just as good as the regular production stuff, but I've heard that it's in production for 2018 Thundercats. Whether it actually comes through, that's the thing with movies. They can start the process and midway just shut it down because some executive says no.
I like the animated series that they brought back to Cartoon Network. That was
That
kind of
was
anime,
pretty decent. Yeah, yeah,
very Airbender-ish
yeah.
style in the animation. But we'll see. For Angry Birds, I still trip out, but oh well. More entertainment stuff. Netflix gets exclusive Disney deal, so you get Disney, Netflix, and chill.
Yep.
Starting this September, Netflix will get exclusive access to the Disney catalog, including the right to stream its hit movies like Jungle Book, Captain America: Civil War, Finding Dory, Rogue One. That means you won't see these movies on Amazon or Hulu, even though Netflix is paying millions of dollars for this deal. This definitely gives Netflix an edge in the streaming wars.
Absolutely. Now, this is probably one of the biggest deals that Netflix has ever made. Just the back catalog of and stuff is worth it alone. But to get access to all the new stuff. Now, this means that Netflix isn't going to get exclusive rights to Star Wars Episode 7, but they will get 8. They will get everything here on forward for whatever set period of time they have. So everything coming out this year for Disney, Pixar, LucasArts, any of those things that fall under the Disney umbrella, they all go to Netflix alone. And you're probably going to see them on Netflix before you see them on cable channels. Yep. If they get them at all. It depends on the terms of the exclusive rights, but definitely streaming. So this is a big win for Netflix. Hulu and Amazon have to watch out.
Yeah, because unless you have the money, yes, you get bootleg, or you could actually pay to download it, because of course they'll have it available in other places to pay for it. But it's like, I honestly, we talked about it before. I think there was a Disney semi Netflix thing that was in Europe that we were kind of wondering. If
there's for those of you who don't know, we reported a couple months ago on a Disney streaming service in Europe that they were launching, where you could see all the Disney back catalog and some of the newer movies, but it was exclusive to some European countries because of licensing rights. In the United States, it was never going to come here, which is what you're talking about. Yeah. So we know that there's a demand for Disney stuff streaming. I mean, you ask any kid, they want to see Mickey Mouse and Minnie and Goofy and all the characters. And that alone is worth a ton of money. I think this is going to do next good. But answering a question from the audience, we have Hans asking if we think that Warcraft will break the video game curse, and I agree, man. Lol. I don't think so. Unfortunately, there's some early reviews from Kotaku and some other media outlets that say that the Warcraft movie is mediocre at best. I'm a big fan of the CGI stuff, that it looks beautiful, but that doesn't necessarily translate to the story directly. From what we're hearing from Kotaku and some other news sources, the actual story is only so that they could have done better, but it's just kind of blah.
Yeah, visually it looks great. Obviously, you see the detail in the work. They had a great display at a Comic-Con last year, and everybody was like, "Ooh, Warcraft!" But that's the thing. When you display for Warcraft in an area, especially at 93 at Comic-Con, where there's Warcraft fans,
you're playing to the audience, so that's your audience. That doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna break records. I cross my fingers. I plan to watch it just to support the idea of video game movies, but I'm going in highly skeptic. I'll put that that way, Hans. Now, in some other entertainment news, we have the Captain America controversy, folks. Captain America, for those of you who don't know, is one of the most interesting and popular franchises at this point. With the release of Captain America, Steve Rogers #1, however, this week Marvel has revealed that Cap has been operating as a sleeper agent the entire time he's been lying for Hydra, the fictional terrorist organization closely associated with the Nazis. Now, in an interview with Time, Marvel executive editor Tom Brevoort said that the plan to make Captain a villain has been in development since 2014 and aims to capture some of what's happening in politics today, particularly when it comes to light that the ugly side of our beloved public figures. Now, this has been such a huge controversy in the geek and comic community that the author of the comic, Nick Spencer, is actually getting death threats on Twitter and over social media because he made Captain America a kind of villain. Now Marvel's been very upfront saying this is not like a doppelganger Captain America Steve Rogers. He's not a double agent. This is not parallel universe Steve Rogers. They're saying this is legitimate, canon now.
I say give it time. Give it time. I think it's going to be a double agent thing. It's going to do something because The controversy, it develops hype, gets people to buy books.
Yeah.
Get books, get involved in their comics.
I agree.
Check it out. So I say go check it out. Like anything, like any kind of media, movies, whatnot. You know, don't just judge by what you see on the headlines.
Yep.
Find out for yourself. Read a book. Check out a movie. If you don't like it, then say, hey, I don't like it because I actually went out and saw it. I read the book. This is why I don't like so.
Go support your comics, folks. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, totally.
But I think it's interesting the way that who plays Captain America in the movies. I can't remember. Chris Evans. Chris Evans. Yeah, he was super surprised by this as well. He was on Twitter. He was like, "Wait, Caps with Hydra." And the editor of Marvel was like, "No, don't worry about this, Chris. We got this covered."
Yeah, because they've done it. They've done the like even in reverse. They've made bad guys into heroes. Venom, one of the greatest Marvel characters, is a villain. Good guy.
He's a hero in the comics. You're absolutely right. But most people aren't familiar with that. Now to answer Hans again, he's asking, is Marvel getting the Fantastic Four back from Fox? And the answer is no. Fox is actually still going to go forward with their Fantastic Four 2 movie. Right now, they're looking for scripts and they're looking for directors. But the news from Deadline Entertainment is that they have to keep making these movies if they're going to keep the intellectual property. So no matter what,
that's how it was with Spider-Man.
They're keeping it. Yeah,
it sucked, and of course, if with that last Fantastic Four movie that tanked so bad, that was so bad from everybody's view.
We crossed our fingers that it was going back to Marvel.
Because why
sell it at a profit, whatever? But they
got a deal the way Sony did with Spider-Man.
They're seeing most movie production companies are very they don't like giving away their intellectual properties no matter what, because they know that even long term that they make more money making bad films than they would just selling it outright. So that's their thing. But in other entertainment news, we have
Full Metal Alchemist Live. Warner Bros. Has officially announced that the live-action film adaptation of Hiromu Arakawa's Full Metal Alchemist manga, is in the works and is slated to premiere in Japan in winter 2017. Filming is scheduled to begin in Italy and begin in the beginning of June and wrap up in Japan the second half of August. So I am so happy for this. My thing is, just real quick, I'm sorry, I'm
sure.
Up, but hopefully they this is gonna sound weird on me. I kind of wish they'll stick with Asian actors.
Yep, they are. We have a picture up on the recorded version of the podcast. We have all the actors that are going to Full Metal Alchemist, and everybody's Asian. They're not whitewashing these things, folks.
They're not Scarlett Johansson it up.
They're not. Hopefully it's going to be a good film. Just because they use Asian actors, though, doesn't necessarily make it a good adaptation. If you think of another recent anime to film live action adaptation, Attack on Titans.
That's coming out.
That's already been out. That's been out.
Now.
That's been out for a long time, and it absolutely. I mean, to my opinion, of course, it sucked. It did not do the anime justice or in the manga, and so just because it is an anime adaptation does not necessarily make it good. I'm crossing my fingers that Full Metal Alchemist is going to be an exception. It almost feels like that video game curse where they're pulling from anime, but they're also not being faithful to the original storyline and properties, and that kind of ruins things. I mean, you think of Dragon Ball Z adaptation, whitewashed all the heck, and that one sucked as well. And we're already hearing about whitewashing for Ghost in the Shell with Scarlett Johansson. Mm-hmm. So the fact that they're already using good actors from Asia, that's a plus. But I'm going to be skeptical.
I wouldn't be against it if they used American actors and whatnot, but it's a regional thing. It's a regional thing.
It would have to be appropriate to the character.
Exactly, and it's all about the regional thing to me. The reason I say that regional, because obviously, anime is obviously the thing out there in Japan. Even though here in America, obviously there's quite a bit of there's a huge fan base for them. But yeah, you're totally right. There's certain ones just did not cross over.
Yeah, the transition from animation where you can do anything you want to, it could be as fantastic as you need to live action with a bunch of CGI. It doesn't always do well, unfortunately. Yeah. Now to answer a question from the audience, Haas asked, do you guys like Dragon Ball Super? I love me some Super Dragon Balls, my friend.
My thing, it was kind of like, especially when I first watched Dragon Ball Z, I was like, all right, it's cool the way it's set. Even though it looked kind of like older animation.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was a lot older than it actually was. But the thing is that I couldn't get over, and it was kind of like a Dragon Ball Z joke. Is like how many Dragon Ball characters or does it take to screw in a light bulb? It just takes one, but it takes 7 seasons.
Oh yeah, that was a consequence of them changing animation studio companies. But a serious answer for Hans is I really enjoyed Dragon Ball Super. It's a rehash and artistic doing of the original Dragon Ball Z series, and that's okay to me. I mean, I like the fact that they cut out a lot of the, like you said, filler portions of the like the Frieza saga in the original Dragon Ball Z.
The whole just charging power, for like how many episodes?
Yeah, they smoothed out the storyline a little more, so it wasn't as stretched out. All that stuff that happened was production decisions and not like based on the original manga to me. So
yeah, and the characters look good. Yeah, definitely the Trunks, the Goku.
yeah,
I love them. I myself have not caught a lot of the movies. Like I know of Broly, but I have not seen the Broly.
yeah. So of course, your Hans is absolutely right. He's commenting that in Dragon Ball Super they're actually extending into new storylines and a new future Trunks, which would make it more of an original intellectual and story wise instead of just copying Dragon Ball Z. So that's great to me, guys. Now moving on to some other tech entertainment news, we have Pokemon Go is beta testing in the U.S. Now, if you've never heard of Pokemon Go, folks, this is something to be excited about if you're into Pokemon or augmented reality. Pokemon Go is the augmented reality game that lets you live out your Pokemon dreams. It's finally available to beta testers in the US as of today. There will be more than 100 different Pokemon to capture out in the real world, and players will get a notification when a Pokemon is detected near them. Pokeballs can be purchased at Pokestops for money, apparently, or found for free in locations like monuments, historical locales, or public art installations. Players can capture gyms, virtually, of course, by battling the Pokemon under the air, and then they can leave their own Pokemon to defend the gym from others. Of course, when you defeat a gym, you will get a nice badge. There's still time to sign up as a beta tester. We have the links in our show notes for it, or you can search in the internet for Pokemon Go beta testing. Is this something you're interested in?
The concept is cool, and it literally you have to get off your butt unless you're wheelchair bound, and go out to these locations. It reminds me of this old. It was a nice concept for a while, but this little scan thing, or even with your phone, you scan barcodes, and you scan barcodes on random merchandise kind of thing. And when you scan a barcode, a certain monster would get unleashed, and you battle it.
That was a less technical version of this one. Is actually a little bit cooler to me because your phone is actually the game uses your phone and its camera to look at things in real life, but on your screen you're going to see an overlay of the game basically. So you could be pointing your phone at a patch of grass in the park, but on your screen you're going to see a Pokemon that you can capture or battle with and get experience or add to your collection. And so you actually forces you to move around in different locations physically to interact with this kind of game. So I think it's going to be a great way for kids to be active, or grown-ups like myself who are just large kids who like Pokemon. And it kind of creates a physical community around a game system because it's using real life locations. So I think it's kind of neat.
Yeah, I'm hoping they, of course, do their homework and everything on it, because the last thing you need is kids going into the freeways trying to get
this is
characters.
Trying to be as safe as possible. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there are going to be a lot of free Pokemon to be battling at kids' schools for the kids to play with, and other public locations. This is very. I think it'd be bad press if like a kid got ran over because he was chasing a Pokemon in the street.
It sounds like they're going to do their homework, because that'd be great. You go to an open field, a grassland, if you will. Yep. You'll probably see a grass type Pokemon.
And I'm pretty sure they're going to have like legendary characters or Pokemon geo-specific to places like Japan or Russia or the America, Canada, whatever the case is. You'd have to travel there to get that legendary creature, which also kind of makes this almost like a traveling game
semi-scavenger hunt. You literally have to walk the earth to get these Pokemon, just like in the game.
Very much so.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Next story is No Man's Sky delayed.
Yeah, that's sad to me.
Kotaku reports that the highly anticipated video game No Man's Sky is going to to make their June 2016 release date. GameStop has confirmed that they have yet to receive any promotional material for the game with the June release date, and have instead been told to tell people that it's coming soon. This is the first time the game has reported delays, but it's still disappointing.
Absolutely. Now, this is one of the most ambitious video games that I've seen in a very long time, personally. It's supposed to span like millions of worlds. Like there are that many worlds to explore in this video game. So many worlds to explore that no two characters will necessarily be able to meet each other, but occasionally you will. You are going to travel to different worlds, create spaceships, create colonies, create things, gather resources. It's super big stuff. It's not a real surprise to me that this small game studio is getting extra delays in those, ironing out those final details. There's enough video footage out there and playtesting footage to see that it's actually coming out. It's not vaporware, which is why I personally pre-ordered it. But it's sad to see that it's not coming out on time. But I'm willing to wait a couple extra months to get a cool video game.
Yeah, it looked good. I saw the little trailer for it. It's
not. Is that your thing, or is it not?
I don't know. It's just
maybe?
Like
you might pick it up if you play my version of it and like it.
Maybe it's one of those like when it comes to game, visually games look great. Playing wise, it's going to be a different story. Until I get my hands on a controller, get into that world and tinker around, travel around, see what I can do. Right now it's just I'm just checking out the one games, if you will, that I'm kind of waiting for. That's going to be re-released for both, I guess, the PS4 and the Xbox One is the dual pack of Batman Arkham Asylum.
Oh yeah.
And,
I saw that. I was not impressed. It's not an old enough game to need a repacking. You can still get the original versions on like the Xbox One and the PS4. So the enhanced version of it seems just like a money grab to me.
It is unless they add all the exclusive content that there was, with those packs and stuff, which DLCs are cool to a point, but it's like,
I guess if you've never played any of them and you're suddenly interested, it might be a good value deal if they give you a good price on it. But
or if it's your first time playing it, definitely pick it up.
Yeah,
but if you've played it before, it's going to be the same game.
I'm not saying they're not good games. They're really awesome games. The Arkham Asylum series. You get to see Batman as a detective. He does some great stuff. You see all the fun characters over and over again, and the storylines are amazing. But I played them already, so I'm not the market. Looking for either new players or people who are just collectors enough to want to get everything all at once.
Or like the replay value, because I'm the almost completist kind of person. And I try to get every single trophy or whatever, but especially if you play the game, it's trying to get those elusive Riddler trophies.
Yeah, they're kind of hard to get all of them.
Yeah,
now that's going to be it for our Geek News section, folks. We have a little time crunch. If you like the podcast,
definitely. I like the podcast. But if you like the podcast and you want to help support us, you can find out the ways to do so at geekbytes.com/support.
That would be Geek Bytes Podcast /support, folks. If you want to help us out, just all the ways you can support us, whether it's just using our links to shop on Amazon, supporting us on Patreon through monetary donations or one-time donations through PayPal. We love all your support, even if it's just telling other people about the podcast. If you enjoy it, there are a number of ways. Go check it out. We appreciate it. But we are going to move on to our trailers of the week. Now, in our trailers of the week section, folks, we bring you the absolute best trailers that came out this week, according to us. Now, remember, you can watch the full trailers at geekbytespodcast.com. And if you're watching the recorded version of the podcast, of course, on YouTube or on our webpage, you get to see a little window of the trailers as well. But we begin this week with the trailer for
Finding Dory. Yeah. The second trailer for Finding Dory just touches us in a special place. The friendly but forgetful Blue Dory is trying to find her long-lost family in this sequel to Finding Nemo. I get to see old characters and new characters help Dory. June 17th, this movie will be swimming swimming ways into your heart. Saw the trailer. Wow. Honestly, I think it's gonna make some numbers. If unless you have no soul. This is definitely going to hit you in the heart.
Yeah, this is it from initial announcement to release date, which is on June 17th. There hasn't been a huge amount of time. They're not putting nearly as much press into this movie, in my opinion, as they did for Finding Nemo. Maybe because it's a sequel. Maybe it's lower budget. I don't know. Besides seeing it on, I forget her name. Ellen DeGeneres show. I haven't really heard too much about it. I've only seen a few trailers, including this one, and this is the best one. This is a cute trailer. It gives you a sense of that same kind of sense of finding family, community, and of course they put you in some other place where there are other fish. In this case, it's going to be an aquarium. So there's definitely a cute amount of stuff. I'm definitely going to watch it. I'm sure it has a new audience of kids that are going to love it. I know it's going to make money. I'm kind of excited for it.
Oh yeah, my biggest thing is like I really wanted to hear Ed O'Neill do the voice of the squid character.
Yeah.
All I knew was he was doing the voice. I'm like, Al Bundy's gonna talk as a cartoon character. Well, what's he gonna be? He's gonna be an octopus. I'm like, okay. And it looks good. It sounds good. I'm gonna see the movie because I want to hear more. I want to see more. You know, I'm not expecting to have that'd be a great inside joke if they do a shoe joke, a la, you know, Married with Children kind of thing. If they have a little Peggy Bundy squid in the background or something, but then that's just me. But I want to check it out. It looks really good. I don't think it's just going to be a kids movie. People are going to go watch this.
Too. Now, our next trailer is going to be Don't Think Twice. When a member of a popular New York improv troupe gets a huge break, the rest of the group, all best friends, start to realize that not everyone is going to make it in the business after all. Now, there are some really big names that you've heard of, even though if you haven't heard of this trailer or this movie. Keegan-Michael Kay, Jillian Jacobs, Katie Micucci, and a bunch of really funny people. This movie is in theaters July 22nd. It seems like almost an indie movie where a bunch of friends who are comedians got together and made this interesting film. It's not an action movie. It's a comedy. I think it's hilarious. Well, you can watch a trailer at our website.
Check out the trailer for you guys that are into the comedy. Okay, pretty much the trailer is a group of improv guys want to get on. Well, not necessarily want to get, but eventually get a tryout for SNL. Their versions of SNL was they call it Weekend Live because, of course, it being, you know, copyright, whatever.
Right.
But Mike Birbiglia is in there. Also, it's great, a combination of comedians and just overall friends. Friends like to laugh and just put themselves on the spot and just have a good time. And it's like, hey, here's your break for Weekend Live, and it's all about the tryout. And that's the teaser of the trailer. You don't know who makes it, who doesn't make it. You know, will somebody throw anybody under bus or try to ruin the opportunity for somebody else? It's a drama, but based on a comedy.
I'm happy to see personally Katie Micucci doing more things. I think the other friend in that group, they do a musical group, her and Ricky Lindholm. Katie Micucci usually gets less attention and press, but this is a movie I think she's going to do well at. Just from the trailer alone, it looks absolutely funny and hilarious. But you're also going to see Katie Micucci in a new CBS superhero show. I forget what it's called. They're like claims adjusters for superheroes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's based on like a DC or Marvel property. I can't remember which one it was, but it's super funny, and it kind of shows that she's not just the other girl in that, you know, musical comedy group. So I'm happy to see this. We only have a couple trailers this week just because there weren't that many exciting trailers that came out. There were a few other big name ones like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Not the porn.
Yeah, not the porn.
Not
one.
the porn.
That's a different trailer. We wouldn't show you guys.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really exciting to me. So, you know, that's kind of it for trailers of the week this week. Now we're going to move on to our discussion section in which we kind of talk about anything else that we're interested in that doesn't quite fit. Yes, folks. I love our musical selection. This week, however, we are talking about our interview with D. Wolfin, author of the End Online series and Chronicles of the Eternal. We had a great interview. I should say I had a great interview. I enjoyed talking to him immensely. You can check out all of his books on Amazon.com. We have links in our show notes for all those places you can find him. It's also in the actual thing. We're just going to be a little quiet. We're going to play you in the recorded version the video. You can also check out for the full author interview on our website at geekbytespodcast.com.
Books, yo.
And go. Hey, this is Romy here from Geek Bytes Podcast. Today we had a wonderful interview with D. Wolfin, author of the End Online series and Chronicles of the Eternals. Now, you can catch all this stuff on Amazon or at endonline.com, WordPress.com. We'll have full links to all his stuff in the show notes. Any place you can find him, we're going to give you a link for it, folks. I just want to give you a quick heads up that during the interview, we did lose connection a couple of times. So there might be some slight pauses between his answers and my questions, and you might notice a few places where it seems like I did my best to try to eliminate the places where we lost connection. But I just want to give you a heads up. Other than that, though, go enjoy this interview and, of course, go geek out about something. I'm Ramon Mejia from Geek Bytes podcast. Today we have a wonderful special guest with us, D. Wolfin, author of the End Online series and the Chronicles of the Eternal. Hey, how's it going, man?
I'm going pretty good, thanks. Yourself?
Absolutely. Now it's a little early in the morning for you there in Australia.
Yes.
So you must be a morning or late night person.
I'm a bit of both. I do this full time, so naturally, whenever I'm up, I'm writing. So whether it's now we have the 7 o'clock news in the morning, or whether it's late at night, just whenever I get the chance.
Absolutely. So I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me and listening to your fans' questions and everything. So we'll hit right off. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your background?
Well, I'm D. Wolfin. I live in Australia, Melbourne, the capital of the food, as we like to call it. I've been doing this writing since November 2014. That's a little over a year and a half ago. So I've been into this for quite some time. I've seen a lot of people come up during the process.
And hey, now we're back. That's going to be that small little clip, folks, that you saw of the interview with D. Wolfin. You can check out the full interview again on our review section at geekbytespodcast.com. That's going to be it for the show, folks. Remember to check out our website, geekbytespodcast.com, for all the links that we talked about today on the podcast and any of the original content we have, author interviews, reviews, and our recommendation section, of course, which is very popular with a lot of people. Thank you very much for listening and watching to the show. For Geek Bytes Podcast, I'm Ramon Mejia.
I'm Edgardo Costa.
Now, folks, go geek out about something. Bum, 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 bum.